here's the question. What are the four players that the Indiana Fever should core to make sure that no team can touch them heading into the expansion draft? Remember, you just lose these players straight up. You don't get anything back for the players. They're gone. We didn't get anything for Temi, did we? No, exactly.
The Indiana Fever just made a massive move that has fans absolutely shocked. 4 players are suddenly out, and now the front office looks like they're scrambling to keep this team together. At this point, the question isn't even who's leaving next. It's how fast can they rebuild something solid around Caitlin Clark before this situation completely blows up? So did the Fever make a smart decision or a huge mistake? Let's get into it, because Indiana has officially turned their offseason into pure drama. 4 key players have now become unrestricted free agents, and their contracts are done. We're talking about Sydney Colson, Odyssey Sims, Briann January, and Lexie Hull. And listen, before anyone says, relax, it's just part of the business, no. This is a major shakeup. This is not a small change. This is the kind of move that can change a team's entire direction.
Shot clock down to 6 for the Fever. Turner, up fake. Turner kicks it. Hull three-pointer.
Let's be clear. These players weren't just sitting at the end of the bench collecting dust. They were a huge reason the team survived a long and exhausting season filled with injuries, tired legs, and plenty of drama. And now, there's a real chance they won't return. Here's what makes this even crazier. The Fever didn't fall apart even after Caitlin Clark got hurt late in the year. They somehow powered through and reached the WNBA semifinals, pushing the Las Vegas Aces to a full 5 games. That shocked a lot of people. Most thought they were finished once Clark went down, but they fought. They stayed competitive. And a big part of that was because players like Odyssey Sims and Briann January stepped up when it mattered most. And now those same players might be walking away.
Feel to be back in Las Vegas?
It feels great to be back, but I'm going to pivot to something else. Sally, is that cool?
Yes.
All right. On behalf of my teammates and every member of our union, I want to be clear. We remain committed to negotiating the next CBA with the league and the teams in good faith and privately. We know that our league is growing, and we believe that it's imperative that our CBA reflects the growth that we've experienced in the league, and that players should be seeing part of those earnings. And so I am excited to be back here, but unfortunately there are more pressing things going on with our league.
So here's where things get even more complicated. All 4 Colson, Sims, January, and Hull are heading to Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball. That's a 5-on-5 league in Nashville that takes place during the WNBA offseason. If you haven't followed AU before, it's basically a short but intense competition where players switch teams every week and earn points based on how well they play. It's competitive, it's entertaining, and it helps players pick up extra income between WNBA seasons. But this move isn't just about a paycheck. When players decide to join another league, it usually means they're keeping their options wide open. And in this situation, all 4 are unrestricted free agents, meaning once WNBA free agency opens, they can sign with any team they want. And that free agency window starts in February, right before the AU season kicks off. So now Indiana fans are asking themselves, did we just lose 4 of our most dependable vets? Let's not forget this Fever team was already dealing with chemistry problems and injuries all season. They barely managed to stay in one piece after Clark got hurt. Now they're losing experience, leadership, and depth. Those are the exact 3 things you need when you're trying to build around a superstar. And yes, let's call it what it is. Caitlin Clark is the superstar. She's the reason arenas are full. She's the reason national attention is back on Indiana Fever basketball. She is the franchise, which means this is no longer about just filling a roster. It's about protecting the biggest investment this franchise has ever had. Without a strong team around her, things could turn ugly very fast, and Indiana knows it. They do have money. They have cap space. But cash doesn't fix poor decision-making. And it's not just those 4 players. Even Kelsey Mitchell, one of the most reliable scorers on this roster, has been named in trade rumors.
averaged 20.2 points per game last season, 3.2 assists for somebody who never passes the ball, from what I'm told. She averaged over 3 assists last year. She never passes the ball. You'd think she'd average like 1.5, 1.2. 3.2 assists for Kelsey Money Mitch, and shot nearly 40% from 3, 39% from the three-point line for Kelsey Mitchell last year. When her and Caitlin Clark are in the lineup together, lethal, deadly, the best backcourt in the league.
And it doesn't stop there. Multiple teams, including the Dallas Wings, are reportedly very interested in Kelsey Mitchell. If she ends up leaving too, Indiana will be dealing with an even bigger mess than they already have.
Don't believe it'll happen. There is a possibility that Kelsey Mitchell may take her talents elsewhere. We need to fully prep and ready to go to continue to build this roster out around Caitlin Clark.
Everybody knows Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are the main pieces you build around. But basketball isn't an individual sport. You cannot win with just 2 people. And that's what makes these roster decisions so alarming. The Fever had finally started to look stable last season, even with the chaos. They had depth. They had decent chemistry. And for the first time in years, they looked like a real playoff threat. But now, it feels like they're going right back to the drawing board. Fans can feel it too. They waited a long time to see this team become relevant again. And just when momentum was finally building, the Fever front office hits reset. What's worse, Coach Stephanie White's system already has question marks. Yes, it worked well enough to take them deep into the playoffs. But is it a championship offense? History suggests no. She wasn't able to finish the job in Connecticut. And she didn't get it done in Indiana the first time around either. So the pressure is fully on now. Because if the Fever wants to keep Clark and Boston long-term, they need more than temporary fixes. They need a real plan, right now. The organization claims they're focused on building around their young stars. Sounds great, but half of those young players are either hurt or not even signed yet. Meanwhile, rival teams are paying close attention. They're waiting for those contracts to expire so they can steal players away. It's like Indiana left the engine running and the car door wide open, and now they're surprised someone might drive off with it. And here's where everything becomes even more stressful for Indiana. This is all happening during one of the most uncertain off-seasons the WNBA has ever seen. The league is still in the middle of CBA negotiations. Until a new deal is signed, teams can't officially make moves in free agency. That means no signings, no trades, no extensions. So the Fever are stuck. They can't re-sign anyone, even if they want to. They can't build their roster. They can't secure the players they need. Their whole offseason is frozen, and that's the worst situation a young playoff team can be in. Let's put this nightmare in order. 4 players have walked away. Free agency is locked. A key scorer might be traded. The franchise superstar is recovering from injury, and the front office has no control right now. This is not what a championship culture looks like, and fans know it. The internet exploded the moment this news hit. Some fans are calling it a reset. Others are saying it's sabotage. And honestly, both could be true. Because when you let 4 rotation players leave before solving your coaching concerns or contract problems, that doesn't look like a strategy. It looks like panic. The front office continues to insist they're confident in the direction they're heading. But Fever fans have been hearing that same line for nearly 10 years, and look how that turned out. This was supposed to be the beginning of the Caitlin Clark era, the moment to bring stability, not create more chaos. If Indiana doesn't move fast, they could waste another prime season of Clark's career. She'll be stuck with a patched-together lineup filled with temporary solutions. And let's say it clearly. Protecting Caitlin Clark must be the #1 priority this offseason. Not marketing tours, not slogans, not jersey sales, actual protection on the court. Because last season was rough. Clark took hard hits every night before going down. If Indiana doesn't build a tougher, deeper roster, next season could be even worse. Right now, the whole situation feels like déjà vu for Fever fans. Every time progress is made, something pulls the team right back down. But this time isn't bad luck. This is poor management. Because no matter how you frame it, Letting 4 contributors walk when your roster is already thin makes zero sense, especially when one of them, Odyssey Sims, was one of the few vocal leaders left in the locker room. Indiana finally had a mix that worked. Veterans with personality, young stars with energy, a team that actually enjoyed playing together. And now, they've created a leadership hole. Sure, Caitlin Clark is the face of the franchise, but she's not the general manager. It shouldn't be her responsibility to fix chemistry problems or replace veteran presence. That's in the front office. And the crazy part? The Fever has money. They're not broke. They've got cap space, strong sponsorship deals, and some of the best ticket sales in the league. Yet they're making decisions like a tiny market team scraping for discounts. If you're going to build around Clark and Boston, you can't cut corners. You commit fully. You surround them with the best possible talent, not wait until February, hoping for bargains. Now, fans are arguing about what this really means for the franchise. Some think this is just a quick shakeup to create room for big upgrades. Others believe it's the start of another multi-year rebuild that wastes Clark's early career. And here's the part that really hits hard. Both sides might be right, because Indiana doesn't seem to know which direction they're going. Are they trying to win now, or hoping for a better draft class later? If it's win now, they're moving backwards. If it's wait and see, they're wasting the biggest marketing moment the WNBA has seen in over a decade. Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark changed everything. Jersey records shattered. Ratings boosted league-wide. Fever games actually mattered again. Her arrival revived this franchise. So when she gets injured, the last thing you should do is tear apart the roster around her. Yet that's exactly what's happening. Meanwhile, fans are watching Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham, 2 fan favorites who anchor the defense being treated like they don't matter. Veterans are joining off-season leagues because they don't even know if they'll have a contract come May. And the front office, silent. Completely silent. Not even one clear message to calm fans or explain the plan.